President Biden and former President Trump are about to make history in a highly anticipated rematch after the 2020 debate. But with new rules in place, tonight's debate could be critical to swaying undecided voters. NBC5's Anna Guber spoke with people in our region to find out how they're feeling about the state of the race right now.
Voters I spoke with say they're just hoping both candidates can remain civil during this debate. Not only is this the earliest a debate has ever taken place ahead of the election, but the 90-minute event will also be set in a private studio, and the only audience candidates will have are those who are watching through their television.
I think most people would agree that we'd love to have better options.
I want it to be civil. And I just get the sense it's not going to be.
All eyes are on President Biden and former President Donald Trump as they prepare to face off in their first presidential debate before the November election.
I just hope that no matter what happens, that as a country we can remember that this is our country and we need to come together in whatever that is. And hopefully we can behave better than what our politicians are doing.
Voters anticipating a heated debate on Thursday.
This is like truly like the peak of reality TV, that along with like the Super Bowl. And God, that's where we're at now. That's kind of sad. I don't know.
Middlebury political science professor Matthew Dickinson says it's already historic for many reasons.
First of all, the moderators have a mute button, so when you're not asked a question, you're muted. You can't override the other person's response, which is what we saw a lot happen, particularly with Donald Trump cutting into Joe Biden.
It's also the earliest a debate has ever taken place ahead of the presidential election, and the first time a convicted felon will participate on the stage, or in this case, in the studio.
There's no live audience. There's not going to be any cheering, applauding. This is in a television studio.
And after highlighting their strengths,
Joe Biden wants to demonstrate that he is stable but also vigorous, given questions about his age and his cognitive ability. Donald Trump, for that matter, is going to also tout his foreign policy experience. He was 4 years as a president.
Dickinson says you can be sure candidates will air out all of their opponents' dirty laundry.
Expect to hear the word convicted felon coming out of Joe Biden's mouth on multiple occasions. Donald Trump wants to both attack Joe Biden's record, but also make the case that he's not simply the chaos candidate, but that he can be an effective leader.
But to make a well-informed decision, voters say what they really want to hear.
Anything about actual issues, honestly, instead of a lot of fighting about ridiculous things that are in the past. I would love to hear about plans for the border, plans for the economy.
At this point, I just want a respectful conversation and to walk away respecting both of them a little bit more.
This will also be the first debate coordinated by CNN instead of the Bipartisan Commission on Presidential Debates. It will start at 9 tonight, and you can watch it all right here on NBC5. Anna Guber, NBC5 News.